Excellent. Let's get started. So this is leveraging market stats to boost your business series. It's 2 o'clock on Friday. Thank you guys for being here. I know we're getting close to the holidays, so really appreciate everybody's time that is on the Zoom. We're also streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, um, and YouTube. So essentially, anybody new here, we're going to go over all of these stats from the three major counties. Not only that, we're going to get insights. We're going to get a lot of advice for realtors to help you make more deals, help your clients better. And we've been doing this for 6 years. And we always have a great leader that comes in, and they are the ones with the boots on the ground. And Simo was here a couple months ago, and he did a phenomenal job. He's going to do a phenomenal job today. Simo, how are you doing? How's everything?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much for having me for the second time. And I'm excited to break down the numbers and share some insights and also some tricks that can help everyone who's attending now to multiply and 10x their businesses in the next few quarters.
Definitely. Okay. All right, Simo. So let's say there's some new realtors that just started in the business. Why is it important to know the stats? Why is it important to know to tell Miami's story? Why are we all here today?
This is one of the most important sessions to attend, whether for if you have no experience or 20 years of experience. This is the session that's most important, but yet the most underestimated by realtors. This is what's going to help you guide those conversations with your buyers, with your sellers, with your sphere, with your family members. When they know that you are a realtor, the first question they ask you is, "How is the market?" You know, Chris. Most companies
Yes.
spend millions of dollars in to get data and market research. We provide to our realtors for free at no cost. And we bring experts every month to break down those numbers and show them how they can use that data for their businesses. So this is one of the sessions that everyone must attend at least once a month. Because like especially in a market like this in South Florida, the market is very dynamic. It changes. The conversations that we had back in April are different than the conversations that we have now. The market has changed and it will keep changing. And the only way to stay up to date is by being present in sessions like this to bring you up to speed and guide you in those conversations that you're going to have with your prospects and your clients.
I love it. I couldn't have said it better. That's phenomenal. Yeah. So this is part of your membership, Miami membership. We have more than 200 products and services, but definitely data and SF market intel is a huge part of that.
Yeah,
So
and this is what makes a difference between a good realtor and an average realtor is how you use that data and you leverage it. So make sure that you attend every session. This is like 1 hour a month. And trust me, this is something that's gonna change your career and you will see how it's gonna change the conversation that you have with your clients. Whether you sit down to get a listing, whether you sit down to have a buyer consultation, or with just like a family member or part of your sphere. They're gonna trust you more. They're gonna ask you and call you for more information. Because again, what are the reasons why people call realtors? Is either to ask for before they even think about buying or selling. Is for referrals. They need an attorney. They need a contractor. They need a roofer. They need a lender. Just so we are a concierge in our business. So we provide the information. The second reason why we get calls is to know about the market. So I'm planning on buying in 6 months, in a year. My lease is up in March. I want to think about what to do next. The best way to guide them is by knowing your market stats and knowing where the market is headed. And one of the questions that we get asked a lot now is a good time to buy? Should I wait? Should they make that decision by end of next year? But the best way to guide them is by knowing your market.
yeah, and I love it. When you were talking to me, I was thinking about George Guerra Jr.'s incredible leader for us. And I remember him saying one time that realtors are not paid to put the sign in front of the house. They're paid for what's in here.
Exactly. And nobody is asking you to put a sign there. I mean, there are companies, and we're going to talk about this. There are companies that will put the sign for you. If you think that your job is to put a sign and to open doors, you're in the wrong business. So people hire you to guide them. People hire you to provide to help them make one of the biggest financial decisions of their lives. So it doesn't matter if you're going to install the sign or not. What matters is that you provide the right information for them, is to guide them. And this is why I always tell my agents, you want to be that local expert, the local economist. You need to know everything about days on the market, price per square foot. And this was going to guide you even when you put those like listens on the market, help you sell them faster. And we're gonna go over this later on. Knowing your stats, knowing how to price is what makes a difference between sellers that or agent that sell their properties within 5 days or properties that sit on the market for six months or more.
Definitely. Awesome. All right, so let's get into what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, November 2025 stats. We're releasing it to the media today. You guys are getting it a little ahead of the media. The news releases are going out. And so, like Simo said, that we're here every single month. We haven't missed a month in 6 years. And we already have the dates for next year when we will be doing these leveraging. The next one's going to be in January 16. And one thing I wanted to say about this schedule, it's a little bit different from 2025. Next year, the stats will be released a little bit earlier, probably like about 5 days earlier. We made that change with Florida Realtors just to get the stats to our members a little bit earlier because it's always been like the 20th and 21st. And so now it's the 16th and 17th. So that's good
And
news.
for everyone
Get
who's
the stuff.
watching, take a screenshot, put it in your calendar. And what I love about the way you do it, Chris, is that you bring different experts and different speakers, so you get like different perspectives. Make sure that you take a screenshot, put it in your calendar. Don't miss these days. It's like some of the most important sessions for 2026.
Yes, definitely. So that's our schedule coming up. And then another question that we get, is this webinar being recorded? Yes. Can I get this PowerPoint deck? Yes, you can. So if you could type in your email into the chat, I'll just go in after and I'll copy all the emails. And if you're watching us, I know some people watch us on LinkedIn, YouTube. If you're there, type in your email and we will get you these stats so you could use it in your marketing. And then I also wanted to point out sfmarketintel.com. If there's one thing that you could write down from this webinar, it's this website, sfmarketintel.com, because that's where we're going to put all of our stats reports. We have actually monthly and city zip reports that our chief economist, Gay Corriton, has been doing. But so much more stuff. We got videos, infographics. The whole team has been working on it. sfmarketintel.com. And then Simo, so I wanted to get into the main indicators that we saw in the data from November. I'm going to go through the three counties and I'll ask you a question. Another great month overall for South Florida real estate. And this graphic it shows the both sides of the spectrum. 200, affordable condo sales are up, 1 million and up. Total sales are up. That's for Miami. And then when you look at Broward, total home sales are up. Single family home sales are up as well. Palm Beach County, really impressive. This is the third consecutive month of total home sales increases in Palm Beach County. And then also looked at I have it at the as the headline of the news release. I have it here. Year to date, Palm Beach County single family home transactions are ahead of 2024, which you won't, I don't know if the media has had that, but that is, we have that in our headlines, so we hope the media could write about that. But Simo, if I wanted to ask you about these numbers here in Miami. Also specifically, we looked at condos in older buildings that are 30 years and older. They're selling faster than the newer units, 66 days versus 81 days. And then as you can see, affordable condos are up. So the condo market has been really resilient, right? From all those regulations.
Yeah, I mean, 2025 is very, very exceptional year. So the way we started was completely different. If you remember Q1, the I mean, the biggest change was the increase in properties that were going under contract and closing for like a million and up. And we were a little bit concerned because we're seeing that properties around median price sales were slowing down. So we had like some concerns about affordability, where high-end million-dollar properties are selling faster than properties at median price. We know we have like multiple factors. interest rates, insurance increase, taxes, and also the recertification that most condos are going through now. Q3 was very unique because I went through data for earlier from MLS, and you see that September was a very special month because so you see August was kind of stable. September went down. Properties, whether under contract or closed property, went down. And I truly believe, and we're gonna go back to the graphics later on, and you see that somehow we hit a bottom around like the first and second week of September. Now, end of September, we saw numbers going up. A lot of properties were going under contract, and we had a higher number of closings. There are a lot of reasons why that is happening. Probably interest rate, not so much. Yes, interest rates compared probably like a year and a half ago went down. We were like at mid eights. Now we are at like high sixes. What was very special over the past few cuts that we had is that each time the Federal Reserve made a cut, interest rate went up a little bit because we understand that we have like two different markets. The mortgage market is a secondary market, so it gets some impact when the Federal Reserve gets some cuts, but it's kind of independent. So we're not seeing a big decrease in interest rate in the past 6 months. What made the difference is to a certain extent the way we project the cuts over the next few months. We heard the statement from the current administration under President Trump. He was putting a lot of pressure on the head of the Federal Reserve to cut interest rate. We saw that there was some back and forth, there was some resistance. This week, there was like a big announcement. The president announced that the next head of the Federal Reserve will be cutting interest rate aggressively. He's like a huge fan of low interest rate, so this will definitely have an impact on the on sales overall. Let's go back to the 21% increase. I truly believe that one of the reasons why we're seeing this increase is with what's happening in the condo markets. With all we know is that ever since the Surfside collapse, obviously a lot of associations are going through the recertification. Three and higher are going to the milestone. Three and less, they're going through the Miami-Dade and Broward recertifications that we had for the past few years. So, if I may, I can break it down in three different segments for condos as of now. Condos that haven't done the recertification yet. And this is like high risk for most buyers. If you're a realtor, you're watching this, stay away from these condos, especially if the buyer is on a fixed income, because it's hard to predict what the special assessment is going to be, and this can create like an affordability issue. The second segment is associations that are going through the recertification. That means we kind of know they did the recertification, they have an estimate for the repairs, so they know more or less how much it's going to cost, whether for the structural integrity to fix the balconies, elevator, roof, plumbing, and electrical. So for those are kind of like a little bit safer. There is less uncertainty as long as you negotiate that special assessment to be paid at closing or you negotiate the sales price to be a little bit lower. Now, I mean, what helps the most now with the sales is condos that have passed certification already. So we know that there is a special assessment. In some cases, the owners have paid it already. In some cases, it's pending. They have like a monthly special assessment. And what the negotiations are going around now is to have those sellers paid at closing, especially with sellers and now they're like fed up with everything that they went through. The association went up because they have to fund reserves. So this is can be a great opportunity for first time home buyers. So you can negotiate the sales price. You can negotiate a portion of your closing costs to be paid by the seller, and you can also negotiate the special assessment to be paid at closing. If you have a first-time home buyer that are looking for a property to buy, this is your target. And what I realize is that a lot of realtors are taking advantage of this now, and a lot of buyers are taking advantage of this now to get properties that have passed the recertification already, so you don't have to worry about those like major special assessment for at least 10 years until the next reinspection is due. So this is where I see the market is headed now. I truly believe that condos that pass recertification already will be a good target for first-time home buyers, and this is going to help us with the affordability issue that we saw in Q1 of this year.
I love it, man. What a breakdown. I told you, we were in for a treat. That's a great breakdown. Simo, follow up there. So if I'm a realtor and I want to target the condos who passed the certification, could they go into that website, the state website to find the buildings that have passed, or how could they do that?
Yes, you can. That is the good news now. For most properties that have passed the certification already, sellers are excited, realtors are excited, and it's the first thing that they put, whether in the description or the broker's remark. So we will say, already passed the certification, and in some cases, they may say special assessment is paid in full, which is great. So this is like a great way to actually find those properties. No sellers and no realtors, listing agent would hide it if they have passed it already. If you don't mention anything, that could be a red flag. That's when you go to the website and make sure that they have already passed the certification.
I get it. I love it. Yeah, that's true. All right, awesome. Um, okay, next. All right, so we talked about Broward, we talked Palm Beach.
Yeah, it's across the board. It's like three counties are all seeing an amazing increase. I mean, I'm so excited to see this, and I truly believe that we're gonna have an even better Q1 of 2026. Q2 will be probably one of our best quarters in the past 24 months for sure. This is what I predict. I don't have a crystal ball, but this is my prediction. Q2 of 2026 and Q3 will be amazing.
Q2 and 20. Okay, I'm writing that down.
Yeah, and this will be a combination of yes, all these buildings that are passing their certification already, and the forecast that we see now with the cuts on interest rate, but especially with the change of the chairman of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, that's very,
Yeah.
very
I mean,
interesting.
my biggest concern is like I don't want them to cut it too much because we don't want to see another, and this is my personal opinion. I don't want to see another 2021, 2022 where interest rates were so low and it just like pushed prices so high. And that's gonna trigger another affordability issue when the prices are too high. Because like we always want to find that sweet spot, and that's the job of the Federal Reserve, that sweet spot where because, like, buyers buy based on their monthly payment, not so much the sales price. Sales price is irrelevant. The monthly payment is what matters. And that's a combination of interest rate, taxes, insurance, and HOA.
Yeah, and there you go. Here are the mortgage rates. So today's rate I looked at is 6.27. But historically, I mean historically that's probably around the historical average. But yeah, you
Yeah.
make a great point. We don't want it to go back to 2021 where it's 2.65. I mean that was probably not healthy.
Yes, yes. And you see, like now that we made these adjustments, once we were at like around 6%. So for 30% high six, for I mean 30 years mortgages is high six, I mean low six. For 15-year loans, you talk about high to mid five. We are getting close to that sweet spot where we see in the market picking up without compromising, but without seeing prices go up. Um, I'm not a huge fan of comparing interest rate over the past 30 years, although this is like good indicator because things have changed. Some of the challenges are facing now are not just interest rates, it's a combination of things. It's also the HOAs, it's the special assessment, it's the insurance, it's the taxes. It's like a combination of things. I won't blame interest rate alone on seeing our market slowing down.
Yeah, great. Just taking a look at the chat. Thank you, Zora. She asked about single family. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
And
So
then
I
Dave.
feel like once you go below, because like now, as they see on the chart, we're like around six. Once we're like at 5.5, you're gonna see that market pick up.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
let's move on to so we talked about affordable condos. This is the other side of the spectrum. 10 million and up, ultra luxury,
Yeah.
projected to be the second most sales. We're gonna see at the end of December what it finishes up at, but this is amazing. The this this speaks about the wealth migration, right, Simo?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have any issues with these guys coming to South Florida. They keep coming, and they keep coming like even more than our highest year, which is 2021. I mean, what, like 426, and these are numbers from November, right?
Yeah, these, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
so we still have like
projecting.
a month
Yeah,
to go.
yeah,
I won't be surprised if we're like higher than 2021, which is our peak year. These guys are seeing opportunity in South Florida. Like they used to just come here to buy secondary home and vacation homes. Now they come here to make it their primary residence. They take advantage of the tax benefits. Um, 20 years ago, people come to South Florida because of the weather. Now they come because of the weather, the lifestyle, the schools, the universities, the everything that South Florida has to offer. Obviously, we're still seeing a huge gap between the millionaires and the poor. We want to see South Florida becoming like more affordable for the locals. But again, this is like an advantage to attract these like ultra rich people because when they come here, they bring their teams, their attorneys, their assistants, they open offices. They host parties, they go to restaurants, and you can tell, you can see it. The amount of like Michelin stars and five-star hotels that are opening are just like amazing. Celebrity chefs are opening in South Florida. So it's a combination of things, but it's very exciting for the next few years. Now, this is a great time to actually switch to luxury market because that's where the sales are happening. This is good time to focus a little bit more on luxury market. There's so many opportunities there.
great point. And Miami Realtors, as part of your membership, you have a lot of we have a lot of classes and certifications that realtors could get into.
Yes.
And then so let's talk about a little bit. We've talked about this. There are fundamentals. What makes Miami different from than Chicago or San Francisco? Let's get into it. Number one, population. I don't know if anybody has the expected population that we have. And Simo, we saw a great article. It was sourced from the National Taxpayers Foundation, saying that Florida gains a taxpayer every 2 minutes, and California loses a taxpayer every minute.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
good that we're here in the Sunshine State.
Yeah. Amazing. Yes. I mean, the only state that receives more people than Florida is Texas. Now, Texas, I believe, is 4 to 5 times bigger than Florida. So we're number one, technically.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, again, this is we know the reasons why people come here. It's obviously the weather, the lifestyle, the dynamic that we have now in South Florida, the opportunities. People are moving to South Florida for jobs now, which is amazing. This was never the case. 30 years ago, people would move to South Florida to just retire for the beach. It's like there wasn't much to do here. Yes, we had like some restaurants here and there. If you remember, like just going back 10 to 15 years ago, Mary Brickell was the only spot that has some restaurants in Brickell and downtown now. Like now it's booming, the amount of restaurants and hotels and we see more restaurants opening than clubs. So we're not that party city anymore. So we're that city that people come and enjoy the lifestyle. We see in Miami Beach also, we have more restaurants opening than clubs and lounges, which is good. So we're attracting different people now. So people want to come here, move to South Florida and call it home, which is great. Somebody asked about if this covers only South Florida or Miami, also Palm Beach. I mean, usually when we talk about Miami, it's I mean, some stats are specific to Miami-Dade, but when we talked about Miami, it's the metropolitan, which is Miami-Dade, Broward, all the way to Palm Beach. But we have stats who are like more specific and we'll break down the counties.
Oh, yes, definitely. All right. And then we're also welcoming the entire world. Miami loves the world and the world loves Miami. And then you could see all the international migration. That's a big part of it.
It is. It is. Now, I mean, Chris, you and I would travel. We represent Miami in real estate conferences, whether in the US or across the world. And now, when you meet someone from anywhere in the world and you ask them where they're from, and they tell you, "Hey, I'm Paris from South America, Brazil," and when they ask you, you say Miami. You see their face change. You see the excitement. People love Miami. The name, the lifestyle, I mean, will attract people from all over the world. Most people, if they don't move to Miami, it's because they probably cannot afford Miami anymore. But everybody wants to be here. There was like a time where was it like a year and a half ago, where I was talking to the mayor of Broward. I was like, you know what? I don't feel offended when they call me Miami. Because like we take advantage of like so many people moving here because of the branding that Miami has, which is great. And this is an impact that we see in all of South Florida, from Miami-Dade all the way to to some parts of Palm Beach.
Yes, definitely. All right. And then the next one wanted to talk about, we talked about all the companies here. This one, Simo, I wanted to pick out Citadel, which chose to move from Chicago to Miami because there's a lot of the Ken Griffin said that, there's a lot of crime in Chicago, so he wanted to move here. The future is Miami, and he's building a office tower in Brickell. And I saw an interview where he mentioned how much it's going to cost. You want to take a guess how much that building is going to cost to build in Brickell?
Oh, it would be like at
Yeah,
least
it's
200
it's
million.
amazing. 2.5 billion.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Imagine
invest.
for him. So this shows the amount of trust that this guy has on the mining market. Why are we seeing all this like bad news now and saying that the market is going to collapse? It has no basis. This guy is betting 2.5 billion on the mining market. Yeah. So because I remember like a few years ago, I sold a condo that has like a waterfront, right? And it was at the club. And and I was telling the buyer at that time, I'm like, I have no idea what they're gonna build there, but it's gonna be something great. And guess what? So this is actually the lot that Celia has purchased, and that's where
Oh,
they're gonna build their tower now, which is amazing.
wow, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I mean, Celia was a loud voice. In a good way, promoting Miami. But we have like so many big companies that were moving and moving to South Florida. Like FIFA has now its headquarters in Coral Gables, Apple, Blackstone. There is a competition between Miami now and Palm Beach of who's gonna be the Wall Street of the South, which is fine as long as we keep it in South Florida. We're fine with it. All of this is great because these guys will be bringing, like I mentioned, their teams, and they're going to be opening offices here. They're going to create jobs. So everyone will benefit from this.
Yes, it's going to help our economy. This is great. And then we have this graphic here in terms of our feeder markets, feeder counties. We used to do states, but we thought it'd be better for realtors to know the counties. This would be a great way to build referrals, right, with realtors in these counties. And then you could also do advertising, right? Like, how could you leverage this, Simo?
Yeah, yeah. So this is actually a great time to leverage this. I mean, November, we're in December already. November and December are the best months to strategize for next year for 2026. So this is the time where we focus on our business plan. And as our business plan, we'll focus on our marketing strategies. So how are we gonna get, where we're gonna get our next buyer, where we're gonna get our next seller from, right? So this is, I mean, everybody will have their own ways of prospecting, of getting business. But for anyone that want to get business through referrals, this is a great way to reach out to top producers from these cities and counties. This is a great way to be in networking events. So, Chris, we go to so many national real estate conferences, and that is an opportunity for you guys to connect with top producers from all over the US with special focus on these counties and these states. This is like great way to connect with them. Be like, hey, look, I serve South Florida, you serve New York. Let's exchange referrals, right? And stay in touch with them. Add them to your CRM. I mean, obviously, like everyone has a CRM here. You don't want to have a CRM where you send info to everyone, the same newsletter to everyone. Same way we have emails going to our sellers, emails going to our buyers. Some of our emails are going to tenants that may turn into buyers later on. I want you guys to have a tag for referral partners and stay in touch with them. Touch them as often as you touch your buyers and sellers. Go to these networking events, connect with them. When you just go and visit these cities, there is nothing wrong with going to an office and be like, hey, I would like to introduce myself. My name is this and this with XYZ company. I would like to connect with you guys. I understand that you have a lot of buyers that come and buy in South Florida would like to collaborate, and that's like a great way to pay your referrals. Um, Obviously, you want to make sure that you sign a referral agreement with them, and that's like a great way to exchange business. In exchange, you owe, like just now, I have a buyer, a seller who's selling a property in Fort Lauderdale. They move into New York. I'm in touch with a realtor in New York who's going to take care of for them and help them purchase a property when they go back to New York. So building your referral network can be a great component to multiply and 10x your business next year.
I love it. And I was talking with he's a successful realtor. He's also a runner. And he was telling me how he spends 800 to $1,000 on Instagram ads each month. And he said, Chris, I make one sale and I already made that up for the whole
A
year. So
100%. So Meta overall, which is a combination of Instagram and Facebook, allow you to target certain geographic areas. And guess what? Now it's a little bit more expensive. It was a lot cheaper years ago. Now it's more expensive. This is like a more of a competitive market now. Uh, it's still worth it. So you spend a few $100s a month. All you need to get is one buyer, one seller, and you'll cover all the expense. So the way you calculate, they always want the cost to get that lead to be less than 30%. As long as it's less than 30%, you are in you are good. Your odds are
very
good.
good.
Yes. So you can spend up to 30%, but make sure you convert. That means if you create those, if you invest that money, you need to master the process of converting the leads. That means whether they're going to call you, depending on how they're going to reach out to you. Are they going to call you? Are they going to text you? Are they going to send you a DM on social media? So you need to have a solid process to converting those leads. Because like same way you're doing it, your competition is also doing it. So before you start investing the money, have a system to convert those leads.
Very good. Have a system. Yes. That is excellent. Yeah. So, I mean, this is called leveraging market stats, and we just
Yeah,
gave you
yeah. Don't
two great
expect to
ways.
just, yeah, this is not that business where you just like invest the money and leads will come to you and they sign like a broker agreement or listing agreement. You need to master lead conversion.
Yes, definitely. All right, so let's have some little fun. This is Miami Global Trivia. I changed one of the questions here, but let's see if you let me get back to it. If you know your Miami Global Trivia, if you could type in the chat, um, what is the top foreign country purchasing in South Florida? And number two is we put out a brand new Miami new construction report. As you can see, we released it in November. If you haven't read it, I am going to type the link into the chat. But how many countries purchased Miami new construction?
Can you also play or just,
Yeah, you could play. Yeah, for
yeah, yeah,
sure.
just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, yeah. So that's the second one. And then the third one, which is our favorite stat that from our CEO, she loves the stat, and you should know it. What percentage of Florida global real estate sales are made in South Florida?
Yeah,
So we'll see how many of you could get those three questions right.
yeah. Somebody mentioned Canada, close enough. We'll find out.
Canada, Canada?
Close
No, that's
enough. Yeah. I
keep
mean, I'm
guessing. That's
surprised
not.
that Canadians are still on the
Oh,
top
definitely.
buyer, which is great. It's like a resilient market.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Canada's always been in the top, but they're not
Yeah.
number one. It's not the number one, so keep guessing there. Okay, so let's get into some stats. Median sale price, what's the latest here? Single family is up. This is year over year in November. Condos down.
Yeah.
And then
So
Simo,
we,
I wanted to, if
yeah.
you could, yeah, if you want to respond to that, but also if you could talk about the special assessment program that the Miami-Dade County has. They're the only county in Florida that
Yeah.
has it, so we should be taking advantage of it.
Yeah. So these were the conversations that we're having with lawmakers, with local municipalities and counties for the past few years. Um, the special assessment were really hard on our senior citizens and our citizens with limited income. They're going through tough times because like you would own your property, you pay your maintenance, your taxes, your mortgage, and now you get hit with a 20,000 special assessment. A lot
Mhm.
of homeowners found themselves like pressured to sell. They were like forced to sell because they cannot afford the special assessment. This program is amazing. It's there to alleviate that pressure. This is not what's going to fix the problem. It's here to alleviate the pressure. It has helped some owners. Now it's paused because they are going through like a process to automate. I don't understand why we're not automating everything now. This is something that Jeff Bezos mentioned in one of his interviews a few weeks ago in Miami. It was like the city of Miami and I mean municipalities and counties overall, they need to move forward now and just automate everything. Like they need to use AI for these like permits and for these programs now. Because yes, so you want to help the constituents, you want to help the locals, but the process can be a little bit challenging. So I'm glad they're going through this process now to automate the process. We are hoping that the counties of Broward and Palm Beach also have programs like this. I understand that we're in touch with them through our PAC and Daniel Big and Senator Ana Maria Rodriguez to help us with this process. But I find this to be outstanding. I truly believe that Miami-Dade is the only county now in the state of Florida that is offering this program.
Definitely, yes, the only county. And then, in speaking with Danielle Blake, the program is currently paused. Oh, let me get back. It's currently paused, but it's going to resume early 2026, according if you go to their website.
Yes.
So we'll keep an eye on that. Here's a look at Broward. Slight decline, single family condos. Palm Beach up for single family and condos, median sale price. Historically, this is one of our favorite graphics to use because it really tells the story of Miami real estate, resilient, right? Right, Simo? I mean, it's
It's
amazing.
amazing. It's amazing. Now, so this is compared to 2007. So we're talking about prices have almost like doubled, right? Now we go starting 2011, that's like three times higher, which is amazing. That's look, so compare this to everybody that compares real estate to different asset class, to stocks, to Bitcoins. Look, real estate it does not give you the fastest appreciation, but it's the safest appreciation. It's like literally the safest investment. Bitcoins last week lost 20%. I understand that they appreciate by a lot, but that volatility is not it's higher risk. The higher the profit, the higher the risk. Now, this is something that would always have handy to share with my buyers, to share with my investors. Yes, we are going through some kind of adjustment, which is normal, because like each time we go over a 7% appreciation a year, the market is due for adjustment. It might happen the following year, it may happen years after. So that's what's happening now. An adjustment is not the worst thing. It can help actually to alleviate the pressure that buyers have, and it can help with affordability, especially now that buyers don't buy based on the sales price, they buy based on the monthly payment. So this is very positive. This is something that I want you guys to share in your buyer consultations and with your investors.
Wow, you said two things there that amazing. Once you get 7% appreciation is due for an adjustment, and then I
Yes.
liked how buyers don't buy on the sale price; they buy on the monthly estimate. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's why there's not like a single reason to blame for the market slowing down now. It's multiple th things happening at the same time. And you know what? For all of this happening now over the past 24 months, interest rate, taxes, HOAs, and we still seeing the market like resilient. This is like great news for South Florida market.
Definitely. And I also, we haven't got to the answers yet at Global, but Kim already got it. Great job, Kim. It's Argentina. We're going to show you that.
Now,
Um,
if we were to the previous slide, there was something very interesting there that I spoke about earlier. So if you see the so this is the median price. If you go, I mean, I think it's similar for three counties. If you can go back to Miami-Dade,
Uh-huh.
Broward. Okay, so this is Miami-Dade. So you see how so we've seen a little dip around like September, and we've
Yes.
seen another one like for both markets for condos and single family homes. If you can go back to the second slide,
Mhm. Oops.
the for Broward.
Yeah, let me get to it. There you
Same things we see in a small slide in there, like a small dip around September. But after that, the market is picking up, it's appreciating. Now, keep in mind that we're going through the holiday season. I truly believe that we're going to see appreciation across the board by end of Q1, beginning of Q2.
go. Excellent. We're gonna keep an eye on that. That's great job, Simo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also you're gonna have this, guys. When I email, as long as you put your email into the chat, yeah, I'm gonna email you this PowerPoint so you could take your time. But we have so much data. We got Broward historical, we got Palm Beach County historical. So you're gonna get that. This is an
This is
inventory.
a
It's
great
still
one also. This is a great one also because like as of now, we blame inventory for the slow market that we have. That's not the case. So the lowest inventory that we had is 21, 22, 23. These are exceptional years. We'll never see them again. So this is COVID where people they want to sell their homes. In some cases, they don't want to even do showings, they don't want to interact with everyone. So that's why we had the lowest inventory that we have. Now, if we eliminate these years and we just go from 2020 to 2024, I mean, we're doing better. So it's like less inventory. It's going down. Like, look, compared to like 2019, 2015, we are having, except these 3 years during COVID, we're literally having our best year, our lowest inventory. I mean, taking into consideration that low inventory is a good thing, talking about supply and demand, we're having our best year in the past, I mean, I would say 10 years at least.
that's a good way to look at it. Yes.
Yeah, because like those years here in COVID, those are like exceptional, and it's not fair to compare them to like what we call as a normal year. But yeah, I mean, we are way below average. The challenge that we have now is not so much the active inventory, but affordability. Because like I mentioned earlier, people buy based on their monthly payment. And this is something that I want you guys to do with your buyers. So when you sit down with your buyer, and I assume that everyone in here, they will pre-qualify their buyers. That means when you pick up the phone, when you talk to your buyer first time, you're going to ask them questions about how soon they want to move into their new properties, if they got pre-qualified, a little bit about what their needs and everything, and close them for an appointment. That appointment is what we call a buyer's consultation. And during that buyer's consultation, that would take anything between 30 minutes to an hour, is when we dive into their needs and understand their needs. And one of the questions they want to always ask them, something they have to go over, is not so much the sales price, because sales price for a buyer is to a certain extent is irrelevant. What matters is the monthly payment. This is what's going to make or break that transaction because they may say, hey, I qualified, I ran by my lender and I qualify for $500,000 condo, for example. Once they see the breakdown, they're gonna start realizing, well, we cannot afford this. This is way higher than what we pay for rent. And you just be wasting your time. So one of the things they always go over when you sit down with your buyers, one of the most important components is their monthly payment and make sure that they can afford it. Now, that monthly payment will have the principal, interest, taxes, PMI, if there is PMI, private mortgage insurance, and also the HOA. So make sure to have these conversations because, like, as a professional, you don't want to be wasting your time or your buyer's time. So you want to make sure that they can afford what they're looking for now. If it happens that they cannot afford a monthly payment, what you do, you make an adjustment to the sales price. And that's
Ah,
how you guiding them, you're giving them the right information, and they're gonna love you even more. Because you know what to ask them, you know what kind of conversations you have with them, you know how to guide them, and you know how to put them in their new home like shorter without wasting their time. So there is no need to go show them properties before understanding or having a breakdown of how much it's gonna cost them monthly.
that's amazing. Thank you, Simo, for that. That's gonna help a lot of people. All right, so let's talk about a little bit more about why Miami's different. It's still a
Yeah.
lot more bang for your billions.
100%. It's
Definitely.
not like these guys care. This is like when they pay a they pay like 10 million for a property. It wouldn't even show in their bank statements. Uh, but yeah, so it's good to have this. In addition, what makes a difference is that they get this is the value because they get in more for what they pay, but also a better lifestyle. Because like now, I feel like Miami can compete with most of these cities when it comes to lifestyle, like restaurants. Back in the time, we would say Paris has the best restaurant, Milan has the best like malls. Singapore has the safest city. Hong Kong has the most exotic lifestyle. But now Miami has everything. It has the best lifestyle, the best weather. Miami, I mean, crime rates are a lot lower compared to the 90s. We can say, I mean, that Miami is a safer city compared to like years ago. Obviously, when you get asked this question, you never say safe. You just provide the crime report. But Miami has so much to offer now, and that's why it keeps attracting these billionaires, and they love it and they want to make it home. And obviously, this is good for them, and it's also good for the local economy because, like, we're gonna talk about this later on. When these guys like move here, when they purchase, you know how many people get involved in that transaction? You know how many people they will hire to keep up with their lifestyles. Now, the restaurants, the stores, the municipalities will be collecting more taxes. Imagine these like homes they're selling for like tens of millions of dollars. Their tax bills are ridiculous. Like it's like tens of thousands of dollars a year.
Amazing. Oh, wow. All right. So here's a graphic about, because we always get the statement that, oh, the prices keep rising, especially in Miami, single family continue to rise. Is it going to be a 2008? How would you answer that, Simo?
Yeah, so look, I don't get this question a lot. I used to get it a lot more back in 2016, 2017, because like now people start realizing that because of low inventory, South Florida's land is limited between the ocean and the Everglades. We don't have so much space to build more. We do have some lots here and there, but not a lot enough for the next few years. It's good to have this ready to share with your buyers. You may get this once in a while. The best way to answer this question is, first of all, I don't have a crystal ball. We can never say, like, the market will never crash because nobody has a crystal ball. But based on the data that we have, it's unlikely that we would see 2008 anytime soon. And the bottom for Miami-Dade was 2011. Yeah, I don't have a crystal ball. It's hard to predict the market, but based on the data that we have, it's unlikely that we'll ever see 2008 anytime soon. And because of a variety of reasons, so exotic loan products, that's like a great way to say frauds.
Yeah.
Strict loan requirements. And I see it now. Like, trust me, like when I put a buyer under contract, especially for condos, I go through hell. Like now I have a transaction coordinator and an assistant that just keep an eye on transactions. And we have put together so many classes and panels in Miami YPN to how to bulletproof your transaction because the banks are very strict. The appraisers are strict. I'm seeing a lot of properties now appraising below contract price. So they're very strict. And I know there were like some more updates now to the appraisal reports and everything. We have a class in a few weeks from now that I'm going to attend. 60% of homeowners have mortgage sub 4%. Also, I can't remember the exact number, but a huge number of our buyers are cash buyers anyways. So I mean, bubbles come from loans. We don't have that issue anymore. And our homeowners now, especially the homeowners that purchased before 2022, they have high equities, and I believe the average is about 35% equity. That means for those properties to be underwater, the market needs to go down by 35%. I don't gonna see that happening anytime soon. And all the indicators are not showing that we're going to see a crash happening anytime soon. The market is, I mean, the indicators are very positive, and I think that South Florida market will keep thriving.
Definitely. All right, great. Let's get into closed sales. What are the latest numbers? This should say November 2025, but total sales are up, single family are up. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So if you so this is very interesting because like the way, let's go back to Broadway.
oh, brother.
So this the first thing that I see here, the seasonality. So the market, if even if we go back 10 years back, the market, the sales volume will always increase around spring, right? And it starts slowing down around like fall and it picks up again around spring. Now, what's so interesting about 2025, it has been a solid year. So it didn't go up by a lot, but it didn't depreciate by a lot neither. So it's kind of stable, which is great. Now, and these like and again, these like were some of the toughest months in for real estate, and we saw that slowdown that we had back in September. But I truly believe if it continue, the market stays stable like this, once the conditions improve, when I'm talking about interest rate, taxes, and HOA recertifications, we're gonna see the closed sales go up for sure.
Yes. And that's what you were saying. Q2 at the end of Q1, at Q2, we should start seeing a pickup.
Yeah. And I can see the, like, if you go back, we can see a bottom right there, which is, it's small. So what was it? I think it was beginning of 2025, the lowest sale this year. It was like January, right?
January, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, from what I'm seeing here, that's the bottom of the market. I mean, to at least this market, I'm talking about the past 12 months. From here on, I expect, I predict an increase of the closed sales, whether for Broward or Miami-Dade.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then also here, this is Palm Beach, and yes, January was the lowest from what I see.
Yeah.
Kind of close to November.
Which is so interesting because this is the first year that we don't see a huge impact of the seasonality. It's kind of steady compared to last year. So you see the difference between March and September, big difference.
Yeah,
Now it's
yeah,
kind of like stable.
yeah. The big
And you see it
sale
more in
months are
Broward.
March and April. Yeah,
Correct. You see it more in Broward.
yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right. So let's see if we could give some more advice to realtors. Leveraging Market Watch on Matrix lets you see what's happening in the last 7 days. You recommend this, right, to everybody, right?
Yeah, 100%. Look, as of now, and it doesn't matter how slow the market was, and we saw like a decrease on closed sales and everything. We were in two markets, a market that sells and a market that does not sell. The main difference was, in addition to legal description and price range and everything, was price. Properties that are priced right, with aggressive marketing plans, with agents that pick up the phone and negotiate and handle the showings, close within days or weeks. Properties that are overpriced, with agents that don't know how to promote the property, they don't pick up the phone, they don't schedule showings, they don't open houses, expire. So what we saw over the past few months is that one in two single family home would close and 50% would expire. For condos, it's even worse. One in four properties will close. And when you dive in and you analyze those properties that sell, it's mainly because they were priced right. So now this is gonna help you. These are the kind of information, this is the kind of data that helps you when you sit down with your seller. Don't take overpriced listings because it's not gonna sell. And show them the data, show them properties that sell. I know that we have multiple ways to create graphics using data. We have sunsets. We're gonna go back over that. Take those flyers with you. It's gonna help you. And I'm gonna go over it later on. Price your property right, and it's gonna sell. Now, going back to the watch, look at the expired properties. Those are opportunities. Um, this week alone, we had about 400 to 500 properties that expired. Those are opportunities for listings. Now, You need to invest time and money, get that data, door knock, prospect call with respect to the knock call list. Obviously, you want to consult with your attorney and your broker. You don't want to get in trouble by calling the GNC. Um, but this is great opportunity to get listings, right? Now, if we're talking about 400 or 500 properties that expired, can you get one listing out of those? That's opportunity, right? And trust me, in most cases, those properties that expire, in a lot of cases, it's because they were not priced right. So if just reach out to sellers, a lot of those sellers are now frustrated, obviously because the property did not sell. So what you need is the right data. Obviously, you need to master your scripts. You need to know how to handle those objections. You need to have a dialer that helps you filter the mock call list and numbers that you can call, but also expedite the calling process. And you can start putting getting some listens. I see this as opportunity for our realtors to get some more listens, especially that now the markets will improve. A lot of the reasons why those properties were not selling is because of the conditions of the market. Now the conditions are improving. You get those listings, sign listing agreements for about the longest, the better. Because like I mentioned, we're expecting the market to appreciate between next quarter and the following quarter. So sign listing agreements for 6 months, price it right, put together aggressive marketing strategies, do open houses, pick up the phone, schedule showings, and you close them.
That's amazing advice. Yes, take that advice. And here's some more advice. You talked about it. We have
Yes,
IMAP free,
IMAP. I like
SunStats
IMAP.
free.
Yeah.
We have Miami Realtor zip code reports free for members. We have
Yeah.
RPR free for members.
Yeah.
Simo, talk about IMAP. How do you leverage this?
IMAP is great. I think I use it almost every day because like so most people use IMAP for listens like to figure out to do like a quick CMA to find out the market value. I use it for buyers. When I show property, I always take a CMA with me because like especially now, I don't want my buyer to have the wrong expectations. I want to set the right expectations. I always tell them before we negotiate, let's find out what the market value is. Having a report like this helps. It helps me guide them to make an offer that will be accepted. Because my commitment to my buyers is to help them get their offers accepted quicker. And the best way to get that offer accepted quicker is by understanding the market value for that property first, and then negotiate around the market value.
Look at that. Love it. We have RPR.
Yeah, yes, that's it. This is amazing. It's one of our members' benefits. It's like great way to have neighborhood reports, neighborhood data. Just be careful. Don't get your buyers or sellers overwhelmed. Understand them. Some sellers like data, especially the analytical sellers and buyers. Some of them will get overwhelmed. So understand them. Ask them how much data do you want to have, right? This is great for listen presentations. Don't print the 60-page report. There are like multiple ways to adjust them and give them just the data that they need. But this is a great tool for realtors, especially for listen presentations.
Yeah, and I remember last time you made a great point. Like you need to know your clients. If they're into data, you got to do heavy data. If they're not
Yes,
into data, you
yes.
got to bring that back. You got to change it.
Yes, so this is part of the psychology of sales, and how, so the way you know it is by asking them simple questions. You go like, describe. So for example, for a seller, you go like, describe your home, right? Now, if you go like, I'm looking for a 1,700 square feet. The lot should be like 11,000 square feet, something like that. So you know that they're analytical, right? Now, so in that case, they will be okay with getting as much data. Now, for someone who's expressive, or someone who's a driver personality, the more data you give them, you will just lose them. So that's how you make that adjustment in a way that it matches what they're looking for.
I love it, man. I love it.
And if you guys, and this is one thing that I want everyone to do, take some time to study the DISC personalities, DISC. It breaks down the four personalities and it helps you, it guides you on how to manage and lead those conversations with your buyers and sellers.
Wow, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah.
The four personalities is
Because
cool.
like, and this is what usually happens because when you don't understand the difference, because like the word is divided to four different personalities, right? If you don't understand the difference between those personalities, you're only gonna do business with 25% of the population. Now, do you want to do business with 25? Do you want to increase? If you want to increase your conversion rate by 4%, study DISC. So this is going to be like a tool that's going to help you do business with more people. People are
Oh,
different than you.
oh, that's excellent, Simo. Sunstats. A lot of the graphics I did
Amazing.
for this
Yeah.
presentation was Sunstats,
Yeah,
and it's
sitting down with
free.
sellers. This is beautiful. You sit down with sellers, especially when we're talking about pricing. Because, like again, when I go and meet with the sellers, the most important conversations about is about pricing, right? You go like, okay, Mrs. Seller, so we have active inventory is 46 properties. New pending sales, that means properties went under contract 16 properties, and the property that closed are 12. So, Mrs. Seller, there will be one of the 12 properties are sold, or one of the 46 properties that are still on the market.
Love it. All right, let's keep moving on. Dollar volume. This is crazy. Like Simo said, these are slow months, November, December. This is more for like, planning and marketing for next year, but still, you're talking about over $3 billion and just existing sales, not including new construction,
This
but it's
is
just
this is amazing. This is
amazing.
GDP of like multiple countries combined.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then and this is one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind. When the market slows down, it's part of the seasonality. So you see around like spring, it always picks up, right? And it slows down and it picks up again. So this when it slows down, that's the time to sharpen your scales. That's the time to go on like classes. That's the time to go check the calendar of the Miami Association of Realtors and do more um, sessions and classes to sharpen your skills and expect that it's going to pick up again. So it's good to understand the dynamic of the market and the seasonality of how it picks up and it slows down. Now, same thing when you plan your vacations. Don't plan your vacations in March. It's like that's the time to sell more properties and put more buyers and sellers on the contract.
There you go. Yes, March. Very important. Months of supply. Let's see where we are. And again, when you guys get this, you'll be able to take your leisure. And I put
Yeah,
in here how to calculate months of supply. But
yeah.
Miami-Dade is 10.4 months for all properties. Take a look at single family. It's in a balanced market. You
It is
can
a
get too
balance,
much
and
supply.
this is the whole idea of breaking down the amount of supply based on the legal description, condo versus single family homes, also the different price brackets. Because in a lot of cases, you'll be asked, how is the market? Now, you don't just go ahead and ask the market and answer that question because you want to know what market are we talking about? Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you investing? The same question is what geographical area are we talking about and the price range? Because as of now, we have in Miami-Dade, Broad, and Palm Beach counties, we have buyer markets, we have seller markets, we have some cities that have a buyer market for condos and we have a seller market for single family home. And the only way to know is by breaking down the months of supply of inventory based on the legal description and the price range.
Yes. And so we're at 3 p.m. Simo, do you have a couple more minutes or?
Yes,
It's
yes.
okay. Oh, okay. We had a great question. Andres had to go, but he said, thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you everybody for staying on. We are getting close to the end. Here's Broward, seller's market for single family and buyer's market for condos. Here's Palm Beach. Let's move into
Yeah,
different
so
price
that's what we're talking
buckets.
about. Yes. So you see how the market changed based on the price range?
Yes.
Huge difference. Now, don't get tricked when you go like, how is the market? Ask more questions. I want to know what market are we talking about, right? And you see like a big change, it goes like 5 months to like 19 months. It's like a huge difference. That means we're going from a seller's market for certain properties to like a very slow buyer's market for some properties. So ask more questions
Mm-hmm. That,
and
that's
understand
from
these numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's for Miami-Dade. And so then we get into these are the hottest markets. These are based on the lowest months of supply. And
Yeah.
so the hottest market in single family is Kendall. Actually,
Yeah.
for both Kendall and condominiums. But any of these cities that that you'd like to talk about, or?
Well, people are more leaning towards being in the suburbs, like so talking about 30 to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour from Miami. So these are areas and cities where you can get more per square foot. So if you need like a big house with big backyard, schools, malls, restaurants, these are great cities. I mean, I have done sales in all of these cities, and to a certain extent, I feel lucky when I get out. I listen in Miami Gardens because I know it's gonna sell. It's like high demands. Now, the one thing that these cities have in common is that so they're not in Miami, but they're like within 30 minutes an hour, so you can still drive. Now, yes, if you do like business hours, it can be more challenging. But for someone that works from home, for someone that doesn't have to commute at 9 or 5 p.m. These can be like great cities to get larger homes, and also applies to Broward.
Yes, we do have Broward.
Yeah.
The hottest,
Coconut Creek, yes.
yes,
Coconut Creek, Coral Springs, Pembroke Pines, Plantation. So if you're talking about like Pembroke Pines, Plantation, Sunrise, they're all like cities are like 30 minutes from Miami-Dade. You're talking about depending on where in the city, it's between 20 minutes to 40 minutes to Fort Lauderdale. Coconut Creek has new construction. It's whether you're on the west side or the east side, you're either close to I-95 or you're close to Turnpike. So the things that these cities have in common is that the neighborhoods are good, that cities are well kept. They have schools, malls, and they're all like within 30 minutes an hour from the beach, which is great. And you can get more for the price per square foot. So if you need like especially for like single family homes, these are great cities.
yes. And we have Palm Beach. Jupiter checks in number one for single family, Palm Beach Gardens for condos. Real low months of supply, 3.9.
So yeah, so this is great because like now, when we talk, if a lot of people think that all of South Florida is a buyer's market, Jupiter is a seller's market. When you go, and it's good to have this data because like if you go and make an offer in Jupiter, don't expect the seller to pay for all of your closing costs and all the repairs. You need to make aggressive offers because at 3.9 months. I'm sure they will have more than one offer. So there's some competition over these properties, and that also applies to Boynton Beach, Boca. So if these properties, I have no doubt that if these properties are priced right, they will get multiple offers.
Yes.
So we
Great.
are we are still in multiple offers market. So how do we use this? We use this when we sit down with our buyers, because all the information that they get from the news is that this is a buyer's market, and you can have the seller lower the price and cover all your closing costs. It's not the case for these cities. You need to be a little bit more aggressive and make a win-win offer to go under contract for these cities.
All right. Excellent. Active inventory. What is the latest data on active inventory? And so I remember, Simo, at the beginning of the year, we had jumps of 20 to 30%. But what I'm noticing now, it's a smaller increase. Listings that don't fall off. New listings are lower. And take a look at Palm Beach, negative year over year. So the market is changing.
Yeah, especially now that, especially for sellers that don't have that motivation to sell, and then they can hold that property for a few more years, they will do it because they all know that property will appreciate later. So if you don't have the obligation to sell, and this is what I tell my seller, if you don't have to sell now, if you don't have the motivation to sell, don't do it. Now, when you sit down with your sellers, this is the first question they ask them because you also want to prepare for your seller. When you sell your property, what are you moving to? It doesn't matter what they say. What matters is the motivation. Do they really need to sell or do they just want to test the market? For someone who just want to test the market, this is probably not the perfect time to sell. Keep it. For someone who needs to relocate, they're going through divorce, they're going through debt, they have a solid like a reason to sell. So those are the sellers they want to work with. And those sellers will be in a position to price their property aggressively to go under contract.
Yes. All right. And so let's talk to what we talked about today. Active listings are not growing as fast as earlier. Simo made a great point about the next Fed chairman. That is beautiful to remember for next year. And we
Yeah.
talked about how maybe Q1, Q2, Q3 could be a lot better. So,
So, so recently, one of my agents asked me, when am I expecting the market to improve? My answer was like, whenever you want it to improve. Because like instead of focusing on the market, focus on your skills. This is when the market is slowing down. If you don't have business now, focus on sharpening your skills. Be in sessions, go to classes, practice your scripts. And if you don't have a listener or buyer now, I want you to spend hours on the phone prospecting. Call your sphere, call your neighborhood, call expired listing, call for sale by owners. This is how the market will improve for you. Because what was happening over the past few months is some realtors were losing business while some realtors are increasing their unfair share. They were like literally increasing their market shares. So this is the time, especially during the holidays, if you feel like you're a little bit slower, sharpen your skills, practice your scripts, find a role play partner, because we're in the business of talking to people. We're in the business of handling objections. Our buyers don't know, our sellers don't know as much as we do. We are the professionals, we're the experts. Our job is to guide them. Now, if you don't have access to data, if you don't spend time to understand their objections, how to guide them to making those decisions, the market will pick up, but our business will not improve.
yeah. And I was thinking about there was a conversation between two realtors, and one realtor said, "Oh, 2025 has been the worst year for me. I really struggled this year." And then the other realtor said, "It was the best year for me." And
Exactly.
it's all
You see
about
how,
working your
yeah.
craft. Yeah.
You see how they ended that statement for me.
Yeah.
That means he literally blamed himself.
Yeah.
Look, because we can say that sales are down, but some realtors are getting their unfair share because they're doing the work. Now, if you're a realtor and you're not spending 2 to 3 hours every morning prospecting, it would be really hard for you to thrive, especially in a very competitive market. So you need to spend time talking to people. And this is how we get business in the real estate business. Don't expect sellers and buyers to call you. They won't. You have to call them. You have to reach out to them.
Wow.
But
That's
but again,
amazing.
like most people are afraid of calling and prospecting because they don't know what to say. So spend some time to practice your scripts. Now, there's something that was really impressed to see is that you can role play with ChatGPT now. You can literally, so you go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, so I'm a listing agent or I'm a realtor. I want to role play with a buyer. So give me objections. We can give them the objections that we get. I'm waiting for interest rate to go down. I'm waiting for the market to get better. I don't want to sell now. I don't want to buy now. And ChatGPT will role play with you.
Wow.
And
That,
I've tried it, like, and the more you do it, obviously, the more ChatGPT will adjust to you and the objections that you want to handle. But it works. Now, obviously, you just don't want to practice with ChatGPT. You also want to find a role play partner. And it can be a colleague in your office, it can be a friend, it can be someone from a different office, which is fine. Just do it. They can be the buyer, they can be the seller, you can be the realtor, role play. And this is like the best way to master conversation. If you don't master conversations, you're not gonna thrive in this business.
wow. And you could really tell, why you're successful because you put in the time and you put in the craft and you're doing these extra steps with this. I'd never heard of someone using ChatGPT. That's awesome.
I've done it multiple times. Sometimes I'll be driving. You know how it is. Sometimes we have showings and you get stuck in traffic for like an hour. I role play with ChatGPT. Like when you sell your property, you're moving to. Like
Wow.
literally the whole script. You can role play with like a buyer. How quickly are you looking to move into your new home? And then ChatGPT will answer, and then you go like, do you have a home to sell in order to buy another property? How much do you know about the market? Have you spoken to a lender to determine how much you qualify for? How much you know about the market? And ChatGPT will just like role play with you.
Yeah, it's about using the tools that you have available. Use everything.
Yeah, yeah, because like realtors sometimes when I come across realtors, especially the ones that don't have a lot of sales, they go like, I'm looking for someone to give me leads. I'm like, I have no doubt that you come across leads every day. The challenge that you have is that you don't know how to convert those leads. You don't know what to say. Multiple times, you can let it go to a store. It can be a server. It can be a banker. It can be your handyman. It can be all of those can be your clients. It can be a friend. It can be a networking event. The problem that most realtors have is they don't know how to handle the conversations. They don't know how to handle objections. And when they ask them how is the market, they don't know what to say.
Oh, wow. I think we helped. I mean, you helped a lot of realtors today. I mean, there's so many great nuggets. All right, global trivia answers. We know number one is Argentina, the Messi effect. Argentina is the top country purchasing in South Florida. Colombia is number two. Someone guessed Canada. Pretty close. Number
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
All right. And so the next question was how many countries purchase? I know Kim guessed 30. It's actually 73. 73 countries purchase.
And what
Uh,
these countries have in common is that they all have agreements, or most of them have agreements with the Miami Association of Realtors, like MOUs. Because as of now, we're close to 300 MOUs, right?
yes.
Yeah,
Actually, I was looking at with 299,
yeah,
and one of them includes Morocco.
yeah.
As you can see there, that came to our Congress last year, and I know you were there. You helped us, so that was phenomenal.
Yeah. And because like especially now, when we talk about the success that South Florida has, we talk about the weather, the lifestyle, talk about the taxes. We don't get a lot of credit to ourselves as the Miami Association of Realtors. Now, if you think about it, how many trips do we make? How many booths do we have in real estate conferences to promote Miami? And I always share the story of the flamingos that we have in our Miami booth, and then people just like see them and they will come back and be like, yeah, I want that Miami booth, and they all have that Miami logo there. So I truly believe that the Miami Association of Realtors is doing a phenomenal job at promoting Miami.
Yeah.
And this is why we have so much success. And obviously, this is something that we're going to continue doing, whether as being part of the conferences or the YPN Global Congress that we've been putting together. And now we host 2 to 3 YPN Global Congresses every year, which is phenomenal.
Yes. And I know for YPN, May 13, 14, 2026 in Toronto. I was just looking at that YPN Congress.
Yeah, it's the YPN Global Congress. Yes. So it's going to be the second time that we'll host it in Toronto. Now, if you're watching this and if you work on if you want to promote yourself in the Canadian market and build those like referral partnerships, this is a great opportunity. So come with us. This is like a great way to connect with real estate professionals in Canada. And just saying that you are from Miami will get people excited and they want to connect with you and do business with you.
Yes, all right. Okay, and then this one is our favorite stat for our CEO, Teresa King Kinney. Nearly half of Florida international purchases
Yeah.
happen in South Florida, and we're getting ready to, in January, we're going to release our 2025 global study. So you'll see the new number, but really amazing the separation between number one and number two. You think Orlando will be higher, but amazing.
And that confirms what I mentioned earlier. Like we have a lot in common with these cities, the taxes, the weather. Some of them are like also coastal cities with waterfront properties, but they don't have the dynamic that we have. And they don't have a Miami Association of Realtors that keeps promoting their market.
Yeah. And it starts with our CEO, for 30
Yes.
years, actually it's going to be 32 next year,
Yeah.
traveling the world.
Yeah,
And
and
she's
what's important about that vision of Miami's vision and CU's vision and Teresa Kinkini's vision is the consistency. So it's not about going once or twice, it's going every year. And this is something that I also like about even the relationships that we have with the lawmakers when we go to Tallahassee, when we meet with the lawmakers and advocate for home ownership. Um, we go every year. So that consistency is what helps our success, which is great. So we're going to continue going to these conferences and continue promoting the Miami and the Miami Association for Realtors.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. All right, tools and resources. A lot of these we talked about. Sunstats. I hope everybody, if you're watching us on social
Everyone
media,
should have
please.
access to this. Like if
Yes,
like after this, go and play with it. Put your neighborhood there. This is a great tool.
Sunstats. That's a must. It's free.
If you
Uh,
were
wh-
to buy this, it will cost you thousands of dollars. If you
yeah.
yes.
And you know what? I'm excited for Sunsets next year. Supposedly they're going to put in because of right now it's just 1 million and up sales, but in the future they're going to break it down 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to 3 million, which if you look at it, our market is mostly 1 million and up.
Yeah, now
So
it's gonna get to a point where it's just gonna say 500 to a million, which will be one segment and break down 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20,
yeah.
and 50 to 100.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting close.
I mean, soon we won't have inventory below 500. I mean, in a few years, for sure. I have no doubt about it. Because like as of now, we don't see a lot, especially for single family homes.
Yeah, for sure. We have co-branded marketing materials, 20 reasons to buy in Miami, Broward. We got top rankings. We have Miami Fortify, which is free. It's only available on your phone. Basically, we've loaded it with 1,000 templates. All you have
Yeah,
to do is add the bottom there, like Arlene. Arlene is a one of our superstars.
yeah.
She puts her headshot, her information, her company logo, bam, and you could upload it in 30 seconds, a minute.
Yeah, and for the audience, obviously, I don't expect you to start using all of these tools at the same time. It will be overwhelming because you also need to buy and sell one at a time. So pick one, and I would say either IMAP if you're not using it or Sunsets, and just like every 2, 3 weeks or a month, add another one. Because I want you to take the time to master it before you add another tool.
That's a good point. Yeah. Do one at a time. That's good because we have so many.
Yeah, it's a,
Uh,
a good problem to have.
So we have our comprehensive market reports. This is
Yeah,
once we have it all ready, we're going to push to live this afternoon. You will get the November stat reports, also monthly zip code. Um, but we have so much stuff. This is an example. We got infographics, we have videos, we got market focus reports.
yeah.
Um, we
And
have
especially the video that the reel that you post, I've seen realtors just like putting their info there and the forum we post, which is amazing.
That's amazing. Like, every month that reel is our most popular and it just takes off. We have so many hits on that reel. It's just amazing. Yeah. So thank you for mentioning.
Yeah, and because like the one thing that is happening with social media, the shorter the reel, the more exposure it gets and the more success and the more views. So most success now is for reels below 30 seconds. And I have no doubt it's gonna get to like 15 seconds or less, or because like people like to just like scroll and keep going through reels and videos.
Yeah. The attention span is very short.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to get them quick.
can be a little bit concerning, right?
Yes, a little bit. Yes. So we have zip code reports. We it's not just county. We have every single zip code. We have every single city in South Florida. Again, it's on sfmarketintel.com.
Yeah. And these are great
RPR.
ways to start conversations. When you post this, people will say, "Hey, I live in this city or I live in that city." And the next question is like, "What are your real estate goals? Are you planning on moving somewhere else anytime soon? Do you need to sell? Do you need to buy?" These are great conversation starters.
Yeah. We have
Now,
IP.
I don't want you guys to start posting all of this and because they need to also see you post a little bit of your lifestyle, of your trips, because people want to see this data, but don't get them overwhelmed. I don't want your Instagram or Facebook to become like a cemetery of flyers, right? So post this, but post something fun also because people want to do business with you because they like you. So when they like you, then you can use these tools.
Ah, yes. And so if you have any questions on our tools, you have questions on IMAP, SunStats, Photify, our trainers do a great job of putting on classes. These are the people that will help you if you have any questions. Send them an email. That's the best way, trainers@mymarriott.com. All right, so I think this is one of the last ones, but cross-market demand, which counties are looking at Miami listings? No surprise, New York is number one. Washington, D.C., number two. But again, like you were talking about, I love how you mentioned that you should every morning realtors should be doing 2 to 3 hours of prospecting. This is part of it, right?
What is that? I'm sorry, monsieur.
They
Because I was
should.
going over the questions just in case if I, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I, I missed that. But yeah, in terms of prospecting, like you could use
Yes,
this
yes.
too. Yeah.
This is again, we spoke about it. This is like if this is great way to I mean either target these destinations using Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. Also like attending networking events. Look, the National Association of Realtors put together two big conferences every year, and they have like realtors coming from all over the U.S. In some cases, you may even have access to some local associations to go and network. So if you see that any of these destinations can be like a good target for you, go there and network, or go there for like a quick getaway vacation, but make sure that you go to some offices and connect with realtors.
Yes.
Because
So
again, we're in different markets, but we have like a trademark in common. We're all realtors, and we're the only country actually that has this. That most real estate professionals have this designation in common, which is being called a realtor. So take
ah,
advantage of that. Mhm.
that's a good point. Here's a Broward County. Which markets are looking at Broward County listings? New York. I get you. You see the similarities.
Yeah, a lot. So it's northeast, and California. So I mean, I'm surprised to also see Texas. A lot of people went to Texas and they were like, "Oh, this is not a good fit." So let me go to Miami.
Huh. And then when you look at Palm Beach, big time New York emphasis.
Yeah, correct. I mean, Northeast New York, Boston, Chicago. There, yeah, there's like traditional, and even for like New Yorkers when they move to like Broward or Boca, they see like chains and restaurants that they're used to. So yes, the weather is different, but they're like similarities in the culture and again, we have like a big concentration of New Yorkers in those cities. So they feel home away from home, which is great.
Yeah. And I loved your comment earlier in the day. You said, which is going to be the Wall Street of the South, Palm Beach or Miami?
It's still South Florida, which is good. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good problem to have. All right, and so here's Simo's information. Simo, you're amazing. I think you help in so many great nuggets, and I could really tell like the passion that you have to for helping others, for helping other Miami realtors. So thank you so much for your year of service and everything you've done for the association.
No, thank you so much, Chris, for having me. I mean, I appreciate your commitment and doing this every month. I'm sure this brings tons of value to our members. You have my info there. If you guys have any questions, send me a DM, send me an email. Happy to assist, happy to guide, and come to our events. We're always there. I want you guys to come to those networking events that we have, the classes, rub shoulders with our leaders. They are great resources for information, for guidance, and take advantage of these connections because our commitment is to serve you. So take advantage of that. Just show up. That's all. This is the only thing that we require. When you show up, we'll be there for you.
Yeah, and you're talking about our next big event is our inaugural, February 6th.
Yes, yes.
That'll be great.
That's
All right,
it's
see.
a great yeah, again, that's another great event to network. We're also going to Florida Realtors and beginning of January, between the 7th and the 11th of January. Now, again, I mentioned that this can be like a great way for you to build that referral program and network. I remember my first trip to Orlando, I came back with a referral, and it's great. It's amazing. Just make sure to be there and connect. Get those contact information from other realtors and stay in touch with them. That can be like a
Mhm.
great source of business for all of you.
Awesome. And then here's my information. And I believe we have our website, social media at the end. But again, yeah, thank you, Simo. We went overtime. We went overtime and but I thought it was excellent. So thanks again, and thanks to everybody for being here.
Thank you guys and see all of you soon.
See you soon. Thank you, Simo.